This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, sure. See, currently I'm working as an SAP FICO consultant. So total I have around 4 years experience in FI. I'm not much involved in CO also, but I heard about this REFX, real estate management. So there is
Okay.
some bright future in SAP career. That's I heard, but I don't know whether it is suitable to FI consultant to take REFX or not.
Yes.
So give me some
Yeah. It's
suggestions.
it's a yeah. So REFX is a submodule of what I say FI. Okay.
Hmm.
So what it does is it takes care of your lease management. So mainly REFX means is flexible real estate management. Okay. So what
Okay.
it does is it takes care of your entire leasing solutions, end-to-end
Hmm.
leasing solutions. Okay.
Okay.
So there are a lot of components when we talk about leasing components. Okay, so REFX from SAP, it gives an hedge to support the entire solution, and through the help you can maintain your monthly activities, weekly activities, not weekly but monthly, quarterly, and yearly activities.
Okay.
So the spectrum of REFX is wider than real estate. Okay, because the term REFX, it says it is flexible real estate management. However, this solution can be leveraged to other verticals or other businesses as well. Okay, so of course it's
Okay.
100% suit for real estate clients. However, I have worked more than six different projects which were non-real estate. So I have worked for three telecom. Okay, so when I say telecom, two with telecom and one with telecom tower companies. I worked for one
Okay.
pharmacy, for retail. Okay, so these all
Okay.
companies, they are not into real estate. However, the lease management, okay, the entire lease end-to-end flow has been managed by REFX. So coming
Okay.
to
Okay. But
REFX, as I said,
yeah,
yeah,
I have one doubt.
sure.
This real estate management REFX is not only for real estate companies. It is applicable for all industries. This
Yes,
is the
that's what
correct,
I'm
right?
saying. Yeah, that's
At
what I'm
least
saying. The
leasing,
spectrum,
leasing.
yeah,
Suppose a bank, suppose HDFC Bank is taking lease in 100 cities, so we are maintaining that
yes,
leasing
right,
section in under REFX. This is the
correct,
correct, right?
correct, correct, correct.
Okay, okay, got it, got it.
So, so
Yeah, please go ahead.
there are a lot of companies in India itself. They are using full-fledged REFX, though they are not in real estate business. For example, Titan. Okay, your Reliance
Okay.
is using this one. You know Bharat Petroleum, right? Bharat Petroleum,
Yes. Yes.
their complete leasing solution is under REFX.
Okay,
Your
okay,
India Bulls banking, they are using REFX real estate module. You have your
okay,
Phoenix Mall, you have your Inox. Inox themselves, they are not into real estate, they're into entertainment industry. Even Inox use, even India Today is using entirely SAP solutions, and one of the solutions what they're using is REFX.
okay,
Okay, so these are certain examples within India. Outside India, of course, the scope is much more wider. Okay, so
okay,
let's discuss what are the topics which I would be taking in the entire course of REFX. So it would be like nearly 30 hours. So what I plan is like I would be taking 2 hours on weekend basis. Okay, so 2 hours, 2 hours, Saturday, Sunday. Okay,
okay,
so now coming to the subject. Okay, the
okay,
org structure. Okay, so before I start this, the prerequisite for REFX is your FI should be in place. Okay, so
mm,
it is more suitable for FI consultants and SD consultants as well. Okay, so if you are a
okay,
FI or SD, it is good combination. Okay, so earlier I was a FI consultant, so it's ever since in 2012, since that date I'm into pure REFX.
okay, okay. So you also
So
migrated
now,
from you're in
the org
FI, then
structure.
you shifted to REFX.
Sorry, say it again.
Hello,
Hello. Yeah,
hello,
your
Raj.
question
Yeah,
was?
Raj, is it audible now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, actually,
you are on FI consultant. Initially, you are in FI consultant, then you move to REFX consultant, right?
yes. So basically, I'm a FI certified consultant. Back in 2011, I got certified from Siemens. And my first
Okay.
project was from Capgemini. I was for FI testing and migration. But second project onwards, I'm into pure REFX. So from that day, I never took any other project other than REFX. Okay. So
Okay.
coming to the org structure of the entire REFX, basically you have two org structure. Okay. So REFX,
Okay.
you have one. The first one is known as usage view, which is the main one. The entire org structure or the entire scenarios will be run in usage view, and you have architecture view. So these two are the two org structure available in SAP REFX. Now, the
Okay.
importance of usage view is much more wider. Okay, entire action. When I say entire action means your postings, your data entry, each and everything would be captured here. Whereas usage view, whereas architecture view, just like the name architecture view, it is a pictorial presentation of your data. Okay, so now let me take an
Okay.
example to explain what is this org structure. Okay, so say
Okay.
let's take a example of Hyderabad airport. Okay, so depending on your business, you would say my my business entity or the premises, the entire premises. Okay, if I take the example of Hyderabad airport, the premises, the entire premises is entire Hyderabad airport. So
Hmm.
whatever you see, or whatever you see, or whatever the component which okay, this belongs to Hyderabad airport. That means there is a specific road which takes to Hyderabad airport, right? So that, including that road, the fencing, garden, buildings in that airport. Okay, the tower, the radar tower, the
Okay.
runway, each and every component would be part of would be the part of Hyderabad airport, and that entire premises in REFX is known as business entity. Okay, so now this is the first level. Okay, business entity.
Okay.
You have your main structure, which would be known as business entity. Okay, so now this
Yes.
business entity, in short, we call it BE. Okay, so BE would be further broken into individual components. So the first component, sorry, okay, one second, sorry.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so you can divide into further components. So the first component is known as building. Okay, and
Okay.
second component is known as land. Okay,
Okay.
so building would be any construction which has been done. Okay, so in this business entity, which is your Hyderabad airport, the buildings would be domestic terminal, you have your international terminal, you have your tower, radar tower. Okay, and you will have your warehouses. Okay, so all those physical structure would be known as building, whereas land would be your road. Okay, your garden, your open space, your parking area. Okay, you have a very huge parking area in Hyderabad airport. So all this component would be known as part of land. Okay, so you have your company code, which is the basic requirement. So in SAP, anything you have to start, of course, it will come under company code. So beneath company code, you have your business entity, which I explained. Then with business entity, you will have two diversion, or say the data would be further broken down into business, building, and property. Property is nothing but your land. Okay, so till here it's okay. The first two hierarchy.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so now either you say building or say property. Again, individual component can be broken down into further sub components, like it can be rental unit or pool space with rental space. So this has all different scenarios. Okay, it takes entire one lecture to understand the scenarios. Your data can be broken down into the biggest part, which is business entity, to further components, subcomponents, which is building, and individual building would be further broken down into subcomponents. So this is the entire org structure, how you will look, or how the entire structure will look like in REFX. So the difference between the usage view what you have created against architecture view would be, whatever you have created as business entity, or whatever you say business entity would be linked to this locality. Same example, okay, Hyderabad airport. So in usage view, we will known as it is known as business entity, whereas in architecture object you will call that as locality. Property remains same, buildings, ancillary building remain same. Then again the further broken down structure. But the only difference here is, if you see, there is nothing called company code here, because what I said is architecture view is your three-dimensional, or say pictorial presentation, or say graphical interface. So whatever you create in usage view, one second, give me a okay. So whatever you created in usage view here, that would be mapped to an actual photograph, or say 3D image. So that's what this does. So there you have an integration with CAD. So actual diagrams and 3D images would be loaded, so that you can see those images. Okay, so that's the only difference, but entire action, as I said, would be done here. Okay, now coming to the next part, or say the contract management part. So the next unit would be, within master data would be, next unit would be contract is another part of master data. So mainly you will have two type of contract. Okay, so either it would be lease out, or it would be lease in. Lease out is nothing but it's your revenue. Lease in would be nothing but your expenses. So what are this example? So you have to think from whose perspective you are writing books of account. Assume that you are DLF. Okay, so you have, say, mall, you have, say, IT buildings. Okay, so you have a contract with, say, IBM, for an example. Okay, so when you are writing books of account from DLF's perspective, this lease, okay, the lease which you are given to IBM, for you it becomes a lease out contract, because it's a revenue for DLF. Clear? Hello?
Yes, 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 yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in the same example, assume that you're writing books of accounts from IBM's perspective. Assume that even REFX has been installed in IBM. Okay. So when they write books of account, for them it is a lease in contract, because they are paying to DLF. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now, irrespective of any contract, whether it is a lease in or lease out, mainly when you create any contract, what your landlord, this is your landlord. Okay, in this case, this is the landlord, and IBM is a tenant. Okay, what landlord asks tenant is, apart from your nominal rents, you have to pay me a security deposit of, say, 7 times of your monthly rent, or say 12 months, or 10 months, or whatever. Okay, this is city specific and business specific. So
Okay.
a ad hoc contract can be created, that is known as security deposit contract. That would be as an ad hoc, that will play as an ad hoc role. Okay, so those are your main. But this security deposit contract would be statistical, because the reason is, say, whatever IBM is paying, it's not an expense, it's an current asset for IBM. And whatever DLF is receiving in the name of security deposit, it is not a revenue for them, it is a liability. Okay, so these are neither paid, neither received, in terms of revenue recognition. Okay, So now going further, there are certain objects which are known as assignment of objects. So whenever there is a contract, you have to assign an object.
Okay. Hello.
Sorry, the mute button got no, activated. Sorry. So what I'm saying is, whenever you create a contract, you will say that one object is assigned. So object can be whenever you have say when DLF has a contract with IBM, it can be a part of building, correct? Or it can be the entire building, correct? It can be a small part in a building, or it can be the entire the business entity itself. The example for entire business entity is GMR. You know GMR Group?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So they what they do is they maintain the airports. So in this case, whenever there is a contract, there can be say a residential property or a part of building. Okay, say one floor, two floor, or entire building or entire premises. So those are known as assignment of objects, which is attached to a contract. Then you have conditions. So in a contract you will have yeah, your lessee and lesser, the parties who are in the business, okay, for this property. Then you will have the object is nothing but your piece of land, or what we discussed just now. So then the next step would be you have to say what is the pricing of the contract. So pricing of the contract would be decided by the number of conditions. So let's take a simple example of residential property. So in a residential property, say you're trying to get a lease from your landlord. So what your landlord will say is, boss, this is a 2 BHK, you have to pay me 30,000 per month. Okay. Then he will
Okay.
say, additionally, as a monthly maintenance expense, you have to pay me 2,000. Correct. So this is a second condition. So in a contract, there can be minimum one or maximum like n number of conditions. Okay, so the conditions will say what is the price of the contract. So in our case, the example which I gave, 30,000 is your basic rent, okay, and 2,000 is your EMC. EMC is your maintenance,
Internet
correct?
share.
So
Yes.
total price of the contract becomes 32,000 per month, correct?
Yes. Hello.
Yes, I'm there. Okay.
Yeah, please. Hello. I
So
can't
next
hear
is
your
yeah,
voice.
yeah. No, I was silent. I was just moving the
Okay, okay.
cursor. So your condition amount can be derived from different sources. Okay, so you have flat or you have these are nothing but a formula. So it can be a flat cost, it can be depending on the area, it can be depending on the sales base. Okay, so there are different formulas which we would be discussing down the line. So when we are getting into actual classes, okay. Then coming to your accounting or say periodic posting or say your regular activities. So any contract, whether it is lease in or lease out, you have to pay on monthly basis. So those sort of payments are captured or are triggered through periodic postings of contract. Okay, and any posting which are like one time in nature, like which is not recurring. Say it is a repair cost or some damages has been done. So one time posting it is handled through one time posting as a separate transaction. So this two are like normal FI transactions. Okay, but there is something else which is specific to real estate, which is known as periodic posting of vacancy, and this is for pure real estate companies. Okay, this transaction is not valid for non real estate companies. So this is like in simple terms, say you are a owner of say 10 unit for an example, and each unit will fetch you say 10,000. Let's take a simple example of PG. So in PG, you have 10 rooms. Okay, so each room
Okay.
will give you 10,000. Okay, but in actuality, your occupancy rate is not never 100%. So there would be one unit which is like empty or which is vacant, 1 or 2 units, right? So it's nothing but anticipated loss. Okay, so how to capture those losses? Okay, that is done through periodic posting of vacancy, and this is not an actual loss. That's why this posting will go to your cost centers. Okay,
Okay.
next, you of course your depending on what type of your nature of contract it is. If it is a leasing contract, your incoming payments and outgoing invoices would be there. This is something normal. Again, FI, and again there is a main crucial part is accrual deferral of contract. So most of the clients, neither they pay on monthly basis, neither they receive rent on monthly basis. They usually get quarterly based payments or they receive. Okay, so those sort of contracts are treated separately when it comes to posting. Okay, then you have
Okay.
services settlement. That is the another chapter. Just give me a second. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Okay. So services settlement is a process of getting reimbursements of your expenses which you have done on behalf of your tenants. So for this, the examples are same. I will give you a simple example. Going back to your same PG. Okay. In that PG, you have 10 units, correct? So you're getting rent from your tenants. That is just one part of the story. But there are other expenses like you have security guard, yeah, security guard personals. You have your cleaning expenses. If it is a good polished or posh area PG, there would be gardening, cleaning, drainage expenses. So this all expenses as a landlord, if you are the landlord, you have to pay them, pay to the real vendors, correct? Say security charges are say 10,000 per month. Okay. So this 10,000, what you will do is you as a landlord, you will first pay to the respective vendor and you will get reimbursed or say you will try to recover from this 10 units. Understood? So this recovery is known as service charge settlement. There is cleaning expenses, whatever you pay to the respective vendor, you will get reimbursed through your tenant because these expenses are not for you, right? It is a maintenance of the entire building, right, or the individual unit. So those sort of expenses has to be reimbursed, and that reimbursement process is known as service charge settlement. So let's see the examples of those sort of services. Those are property tax, water supply, house cleaning, drainage, gardening. The list is bit lengthy. Okay, and there are different procedures of recovering this amount. Okay, so it can be based on fixed value. Okay, it can be based on fixed value. It can be equal proportion. It can be based on condition type. Condition type, when I say it is area. Okay, depending on area. Say this is the one of the floor in mall. Okay, so say this is used by McD. This is used by say KFC, and these are all small other vendors, right? So say whenever there is a cleaning expenses, say cleaning expenses say $1,000. So you can clearly see the portion which is utilized by MACD and KFC is major, right? So major of the expenses would be distributed to these two guys, and the minimum will go to here. So those sort of treatment is done through condition type area. Okay, and you have certain consumptions like water expenses, electricity or LPG. Those will be divided or will get distributed as per consumption. So for to do that, you need a requirement of integration with PM module. Okay,
Okay, you'll explain PM
so
module also, no?
not entirely, but the integration point, how to set
Yeah,
up a meter,
integration.
how to do the rest of the activities that I will explain. Okay, because PM
Okay.
module is another ocean. Now coming to
Okay.
sales-based settlement. So sales-based settlement means this is purely for certain scenarios where apart from your normal rent, okay, so landlord will ask you extra money or say extra commission. Okay, so this is mainly for mall businesses. So what happens is your landlord will charge you. They will say for say this is one mall, okay, one part of mall, and here you have 10 different units. Say it is food and beverages. Say you have McD, KFC, Subway, okay, and others. So your landlord will charge say 10,000 from each. Okay, but what he says is there is a additional condition. What he says is you, which is KFC, Subway, and others, you have to pay me extra 2% on the sales of McD. So whatever sales McD does on the month of May, April, and respective months, the total sales revenue would be given to landlord. So 10,000 plus whatever the 2% comes. So this calculation and input of data, how to maintain those sort of activities are done through sales based settlement. Okay. So there are certain rules which has to be followed. So those are known as sales rule and reporting rule. Okay. So you do those settings and you get the data from respective tenant and you calculate, the system will calculate what should be the amount to be as paid. Yeah, so those activities known as sales based activity. Now coming to the last chapter of REFX, which is known as adjustments of conditions. So adjustments of conditions means, say, adjustment, the name itself says like adjustments of conditions. So when I was explaining condition is nothing but your pricing, correct? So what if there is a adjustment to be done at pricing? So say if it is a 10-year contract, okay, say this is the length of the contract, okay, 10-year contract. So when you say it is 5,000, for example, 5,000 per month, so usually this amount does not change, okay, unless and until certain event comes, okay. So say you have agreed for 5,000, but because of XYZ reason, this price has gone up. Now instead of 5,000, he is asking 15,000, or it can be because of certain reason the price has gone down. So instead of 5,000, now he's just charging say 4,500. Okay, so there are a lot of reasons. So this adjustments is taken care by adjustments of condition, which is an out of box solution in REFX, where you will not edit the contract, but there is a separate transaction to help that. So the reasons of the condition changes are like market condition, inflation. So if you take today's scenario, okay, because of COVID-19, there are a lot of properties which have slashed their price just to retain their customers. Okay, and because of inflation and other reasons, sometimes the prices goes up. So those sort of
Okay.
adjustments are handled through adjustments of conditions. Now coming to the controlling part. So in controlling, REFX has a beautiful thing which is like a very few model has. Like it can say it is a 10-year contract or 5-year contract. So in that you can have your cash flows. You can see your cash flow. Say it is a 2-year contract for an example. That means it is 24 months. Okay, sorry. If you are paying monthly 1,000, okay, so the system will show you each month till 24th month, it will show the total amount to be paid for the entire contract is 24,000. So this cash flow is presented in a real estate contract. So from that cash flow or some other activities, you can have your cost planning, revenue planning, activity planning, blah 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 blah. All sort of planning from controlling perspective can be picked up. Okay, so it is just an information. However, this entire activity is done by CO consultants. Okay. Now coming to the last part of the demo. So this is your integration touch points. Okay. So of course your REFX is tightly integrated with FI and CO. Okay. There are other touch points as well. So the first touch point is PM module. So for service charge settlement, if you are using meters, yes, you have to use PM module. But there is another use of PM module is at each org structure, say business entity, building, land, rental object, any object level, you can assign functional location. Okay, this can be either created or assigned to an existing object. Okay, then you have integration with PS. So whenever there is a reposting of your expenses or cost, you can do at cost center level, you can do at project level. Okay, you can do at order level, or you can do at WBS element. So if you have any reposting to these objects, you can use the touch point of PS. And there is a, it's not an integration, but it's an input for So whenever there is a PO getting created, you can use any of these RE objects. RE objects are this one. Okay, for that PO, so that you can have track that this object or whatever services you have bought, that is for which of this object. Okay, so there's a place where I end my demo. So let me know if you have any questions or any query or any certain concerns. Yeah,
Yeah,
over to
sure.
you.
Yeah. So this REFX is mainly integrated with the FI and PES, right? PM.
See, it's not a direct integration, but FICO is directly integrated.
Okay. So can you suggest me? See, for example, you also in initial stage you also started as an FI consultant only. So now I'm an FI consultant. So if I taken this REFX course, how my SAP career at present trend now migrating to S4 HANA is there? And can you suggest this is the best for me? I mean, for my SAP career for better, and even if it is in migrating to S4
Yes,
HANA also, can I get any opportunities related
yes,
to REF?
opportunities. Yes, opportunities are a lot because if you see you've been to SAP for last 3 or 4 years, so you have seen how many consultants you have in FI, SD, and MM, right? So there is an ocean of
Yes.
consultants. But when it comes to REFX, you have very few consultants across India, across world. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
why the chances of getting picked up becomes more. That is A. B, there are a lot of
Okay.
migration projects. There are a lot of people or say client. They have other solutions for real estate, but now they have gradually they have realized that because SAP REFX has a upper hedge, they are converting their existing third party tool to REFX. So opportunities are there. A lot of opportunities are there. The good part of this REFX projects are like the tenure is less. So when it is a FISD, the tenure is like 2 years, 3 years. It's like ongoing process. There is never an end. So if it is a vanilla
Yes.
project for REFX, it is like 6 months, 8 months. Then you will jump to next project. So you will get a you're not never bored in one project. So that boredom is not there
Okay.
in REFX. So you will always get a new opportunity and new service line or new type of challenges. So that's something cool in RE.
Okay. Got it. Hmm. Fine. And for
Yeah,
REFX, is there any S4 HANA also, right? Under simple finance or simple logistics? I mean, this is a separate
it's under no,
S4.
it's under finance.
Okay. Okay. Now you will teach about ECC or S4 HANA or both.
you give me any system, it's one and the same. There is no change in S4HANA.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Because now I'm learning this as for HANA in simple finance.
yeah.
So that's why
So,
I'm asking.
in FI, SDMM, there are a lot of changes. Okay, even in other modules, there are a lot of changes. But REFX is one of the modules which is already, when it was created, and they have already created in such a way that it is a suit, like, there is no change in S4HANA, as simple as that. Okay, now I'm working for 1909. So 1909 or ECC, no difference. Specific to
Hmm.
S4HANA. Okay.
Okay.
So any further questions?
Yeah, that's it. That's the main question.
Okay, so
And
let
is
me
there any
explain this.
integration required? ABAP integration is required?
ABAP.
Yeah, ABAP for customizing knowledge at least. Whether is it mandatory? Say for FI, a little bit ABAP knowledge is required. I mean, program codes, programming. So same in REFX. Is there any?
Honestly, see, I've been into SAP for last 9 years, 9+. I never heard that
Okay.
it is mandatory, even in FI.
It is not
Okay,
mandatory. It is
it is
just
good
for
to have
knowledge.
that knowledge. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, knowledge is always good.
yeah. That's
Having
why.
knowledge of ABAP
That's
is
why I'm
always
asking.
good. Yeah,
Mm.
if you have that is absolutely good. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, buddy. So let me close this.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
sure, sure,
rest of the logistics you can talk to Srini.
sure, sure,
Okay.
sure, sure,
Have
sure.
a good one.
Thanks,
Cheers. Bye.
thanks for connecting.